Count me in.
No, you have things to do first. And people you need to talk to.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 worst video game endings.
You did good, son. You did good. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
Choose quickly, carrier. Kill her or let her live. You alone can decide, and you will decide for all.
For this list, we'll be looking at conclusions in video games that blew our minds by just how bad they were. As you might expect, be on the lookout for a whole load of spoilers. Number 20. Batman: Arkham Asylum.
Say, he looks all run down. Let's pep him up. No! Batman!
As awesome as Arkham Asylum is, the generic ending totally ruins the long-established relationship between Batman and Joker. The Joker has never been a brawler. He's always relied on his psychotic, warped, and fiercely intelligent mind. He gets off on teasing and one-upping his greatest nemesis. Physically fighting him would be dumb enough.
Come on! Change! Get crazy! It's the only way to beat me!
But Arkham Asylum upped the dumb factor and had the Joker pump himself full of serum, which greatly enhanced his size and essentially turned him into Bane. It's the most cliché and derivative boss fight imaginable, and it's a real shame that it came at the expense of the Joker's character. Number 19. Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. This game is great, but it embodies two infamous tropes that make for a terrible ending: anticlimax and abruptness. The ending of this game sees you going up against Sauron himself. Now, what could possibly be more epic than going mano a mano with Sauron, perhaps the most famous villain in fantasy history?
Strike out, Alien! I cannot hold it for much longer!
It certainly sounds amazing, but this game managed to bungle it with an unchallenging, straightforward boss fight and a horribly anticlimactic quick-time event. It's pretty telling that fights with various war chiefs and their minions were more exciting than the one with the Dark Lord himself. Why developers continuously cop out by utilizing quick-time events, we have no idea. Number 18. Fallout 3.
One of us is going to have to go in there and turn the damn thing on. And whoever does it isn't coming back out. Not exactly how I imagined going out, you know? So, what should we do? Draw straws?
If the fight with Colonel Autumn wasn't bad enough, Fallout 3 continues its descent into disappointment with false choices. All three choices portrayed your character in a heroic light, more or less, which would completely contradict those who wanted to be evil. Regardless, each choice ended with a bang, literally, and your untimely demise. Oh, and if you were planning to go back and finish any quests you had, you could kiss your progress goodbye. Fallout 3 ends your game as soon as you complete the final mission, forcing you to start a whole new game. At least the Broken Steel DLC fixed this flaw and allowed us to return to our old saves. Number 17. Fable II.
All that you've struggled for will be crushed under the majesty of the spire.
Choice can be a wonderful thing, but what happens when every option is kind of terrible? At the end of this fantasy role-playing game, the hero of Bowerstone stands victorious over the evil Lord Lucian Fairfax after a seriously anticlimactic standoff and innumerable lives lost in the process.
Why? Why must you interfere?
Oh, I thought he'd never shut up.
Fortunately for the hero, the CRS Teresa has the power to grant one wish. She can resurrect the innocent people lost in the conflict, revive the hero's family, or gift the hero with 1,000,000 gold pieces. no matter what choice you make, something of greater value is lost.
The world is yours to enjoy, but the spire is mine. Be gone.
Number 16, Assassin's Creed III.
But what of my people?
You have saved this place, as was your people's purpose, and that matters most.
Sometimes it sucks to be a hero. That's probably what modern assassin Desmond Miles was thinking when two godlike beings presented him with a choice at the end of the 2012 game Assassin's Creed III.
Free her.
Juno dwells within these walls, awaiting release. I will explain.
Desmond is told that he can either sacrifice his own life to activate a globe-spanning shield that will repel oncoming solar flares, or he can let the flares hit and become a messiah that inspires a religious war. Naturally, since the latter option is incredibly stupid, Desmond elects to give his own life, in the process leaving the world's future uncertain. Number 15, The Order 1886.
I do what I must to protect my kind. We fight only for a right to live. That's a lie!
One of the first exclusive games for the PS4, and it ends with a whimper. Our werewolf-killing hero Galahad has just bested his former ally Lucan and can regain his status among the titular order. Only, surprise, Lucan's father and Lord Chancellor of that same order comes along to kibosh the plan.
I never meant this life for you.
You knew.
I've always known.
Instead, Galahad must kill Lucan and remain in disgrace to protect the status quo. We're not sure whether to be shocked or angered by the story turn, but we're certainly not feeling amicable. This also leaves the door open for a sequel that will obviously never happen.
I'll join you shortly. And don't you know, I'm Galahad, no more.
Number 14, Alone in the Dark.
So, here's the man who walked the path of light. Was it a pleasant walk? You're really starting to piss me off, Crowley.
Questionable choices seem to be a common theme here. On their quest to prevent the rise of Lucifer, paranormal investigator Edward Carnby and his lovely friend Sarah Flores find themselves standing before an interdimensional gateway. Edward activates the gateway, drawing out Lucifer, only for Sarah to intervene.
Choose quickly, Carrier. Kill her or let her live. You alone can decide, and you will decide for all.
Whether the player chooses to shoot Sarah or spare her life, someone is always possessed by Lucifer, and no one we care about goes home happy. Then, there's the dialogue.
So was his first free act.
Number 13, Command & Conquer 4, Tiberian Twilight.
She needed her hatred of me to become yours, so that you could become her puppet. Listen. Learn your true purpose.
Two paths to choose from, one inevitable outcome: disappointment. Whether your character Commander Parker chooses to ally with the Brotherhood of Nod or the Global Defensive Initiative, all roads lead to the Nod-controlled Skrin Tower. Kane, the Brotherhood's leader, asks Parker to use his ocular implant to open an interplanetary portal and let the Brotherhood leave Earth.
I'll find her. You get to the portal.
Unfortunately, Parker is only able to do so, thus ending a decades-long war, after being fatally wounded by his own former commanding officer. Poor guy didn't even get to see the fruit of his labors. Also, after years of being the pioneers of FMV cutscenes, this last bit seems awfully cheap, especially for 2010. Number 12, Super Mario Bros. 2. This one gives new meaning to the phrase, life is but a dream. Imagine this. You've just faced off against the evil frog King Wart, and you're now being treated to the heroes of Super Mario Bros. 2, enjoying their success. Suddenly, the screen shifts to that of a sleeping Mario, and the message is clear. The game you just played was all Mario's dream. Not only does that undercut the feeling of victory, it's also ridiculous in light of the game introducing certain iconic enemies and characters into Mario canon. Number 11, Too Human.
You do not drink with us?
Aye, drink up, lad. There is much mourning to be done.
we'd really appreciate some clarity on this one. 2 Human ends with the Aesir Corporation, cybernetically enhanced versions of the Norse gods, celebrating their victory over evil. All except the undead god Baldur, who's wary of his comrades' attitudes.
Wife, my life all gone. You raided Helheim to recover my body. My death started all this.
Your murder. You had died too early, too young.
Although the official ending is a muddled mess, there's also a cliffhanger after the credits that teases a sequel, which we know now is definitely never going to happen. The final words left on screen only add to the irony.
We must find him before he can orchestrate another attack upon Asgard.
Number 10, Outlast. Considered to be one of the best survival horror games in recent years, players were left cowering in fear as they frantically tried to survive against the inhabitants of Mount Massive Asylum. From its controls, atmosphere, pace, and of course its unforgettable antagonists Chris Walker and Dr. Traeger, Outlast seems like the whole package. So what went wrong? Well, after finally taking down Project Walrider, it looks like our poor protagonist Miles is home free, only to be shot down by the military, who have conveniently stormed the place. This just seemed to cheapen the experience as a whole, though it was thankfully remedied by its equally thrilling DLC, Whistleblower. Number 9, Borderlands. Hunting down vaults, gunning across Pandora, and interacting with some truly memorable villains like Handsome Jack. Yeah, that all came in the sequel. The first game, on the other hand, wasn't quite as polished, evidenced by the final boss battle against the Destroyer, which in and of itself was not that great a challenge. Going down after layering it with enough bullets, your planetary escapade comes to an end with nothing more than a verbal pat on the back from the Guardian Angel to show for it. Thanks, I guess.
Get down!
Number 8, Halo 2.
No, Arbiter. The great journey has begun. And the brutes, not the elite, shall be the Prophet's escort.
Taking up arms as either the Master Chief or the Arbiter was an experience that many gamers will still look back on with immense fondness. With so much world building and endless hours of shooting down the likes of the Flood, we were expecting a finale that was nothing short of explosive. And what did we get?
Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
Just as it looked like we were in for the battle of a lifetime, we got one of the biggest cliffhangers ever. The Chief may have promised to finish the fight, but the rest of us were ready for it then and there.
All right. Shoot.
Number 7, Mass Effect 3.
You did good, son. You did good. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
To be clear, we're not talking about the extended cut that fixed most of the plot holes. No, we're talking about the massive light show that concluded Shepard's fight against the Reapers and left players wondering if all of it was worth it. After finally activating the Crucible, the player is presented with 3 choices: destroy, control, or synthesis.
Releasing the energy of the Crucible will end the cycle, but it will also destroy the mass relays. The paths are open, but you have to choose.
While these morally contrasting options might seem like a good idea at first, the execution was what disappointed Mass Effect fans. All we got to see was Shepard bite the dust, the galaxy light up in one of 3 colors, and yeah, that's about it. At least the extended endings gave us some much-needed closure.
What else do we know about the Shepard?
Just what we have in the archives.
Number 6, Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge.
My God, you're my creepy brother Chucky.
What? Did you think I was kidding before?
This is it. Time for Guybrush Threepwood to take down his pirate nemesis yet again in a showdown that future generations will still speak of. Surely the sequel to such a beloved game would not pull an absolute cop-out that would undermine the characters, story, and all the effort put in by the player. Well, it does. And during the final battle, LeChuck is revealed to be a child?
What's going on?
We're scolding you for running off. Your mother and I were very concerned.
Before we have enough time to register this, we see that the entire game was a fantasy thought up by 2 children. Talk about pulling the rug from under our feet and ruining the immersion.
You don't know what kinds of murderers and ne'er-do-wells might be hanging around a place like this.
Number 5. Ghosts and Goblins. Infamous for its unreasonable difficulty spikes, the perilous quest of Sir Arthur to save his princess from Satan left many gamers pulling out their hair. Not only from the never-ending waves of ogres, demons, dragons, and other monsters, but also from the fact that it only takes 2 hits to kill Arthur. And then there's the ending. After overcoming the Lord of Hell, you're told the whole thing was an illusion, and if you want the happy ending, you have to play through the whole game on a higher difficulty. All of that controller smashing you went through was all in vain. Number 4. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords.
If it matters to you at this last moment, I shall look into the future and tell you of what I see. It is my last gift to you, from one exile to another.
Coming off the heels of the triumph that was KOTOR, the sequel certainly had a lot to live up to. While there were plenty of lightsabers and the choice to embrace either the dark side or the light, the ending suddenly came out of nowhere. After defeating Darth Traya, we're rewarded with a long-winded narration of the decisions we made and what's going to happen in the future, and that's it.
The Republic will fall as it always has, a fall that will take millennia under the care of the herds of Ithor. The surface of Telos will bloom again.
This rather abrupt ending was due to the fact that EA rushed the game out the door to have it ready in time for a Christmas launch, leaving fans and modders trying to reconstruct the planned content that ended up being scrapped. Number 3. Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty.
The memories you have and the role you were assigned are burdens you had to carry. It doesn't matter if they were real or not. That's never the point.
The Phantom Pain also had similar issues, mostly due to Konami's interference and editing of the final product. However, as much as we adore it as a game and as an entry in the MGS universe, Raiden's solo mission did not exactly end on a high note. By this point, we had faced off against Dead Cell, ran naked through hallways, sliced up countless terrorists with a sword, and bested the likes of Solidus Snake, only to be left with an ending that thoroughly confused us. Arsenal gear? The Patriots? All the creepy codec messages? Without the benefit of hindsight and later sequels, we were left scratching our heads with this one.
When did it happen?
Well, about 100 years ago.
What the hell?
Number 2. Sniper, Ghost Warrior.
In position. Target's in sight. Awaiting green light.
Green light's yours. Terminate.
We weren't under any illusions that the ending of this game was probably going to involve some kind of epic sniper shot, though we were at least hoping for something added on, like a cutscene or an extra piece of dialogue, really anything to make it seem like a coherent conclusion.
Mission accomplished. Get out of there.
Anything but an instant cut to black. We're not even joking here. One pull of the trigger and the game decides to just call it quits. There's leaving the player unsatisfied, and then there's just slapping them in the face.
If you can get there in time and hide in one of the trucks, it will take you near where Rodriguez is being held.
Got that. On my way.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. No Man's Sky, launch ending.
Technology recharge.
While other games on this list may have had disappointing or in some cases just plain awful conclusions, at least they concluded. The same cannot be said of the original release version of No Man's Sky. After managing to venture all the way to the center of the galaxy, in the vain hope that all the hours spent crafting and mining your way through similar looking planets would be worth it, you are greeted with your final reward. Absolutely nothing. The galaxy flashes before your eyes as all your progress is undone, and you realize that what was supposed to be an epic journey was nothing more than a colossal waste.
Commencing Atlas system suit initialization.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.